Welcome to Talking Beards, an entertainment news podcast all about the facial hair lifestyle and the people who use their beards and mustaches to help change the world. Join your hosts, World Goatee Champion Aaron D. Johnston and two-time National Goatee Champion Scott Sikora as they talk about all the important issues in the community, from charity events, competition news, styling tips, breaking news, and much more. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we stream live on all social media platforms as well as talkingbeards.com and answer all of your questions. Join in our chat room and be a part of the show each week as we give away great prizes, compliments on Honest Amish. I am your host, Aaron D. Johnston, and I am Scott Sikora, and we are Talking Beards.
You left the brush up.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode number 167 of the live show. This is episode number 243 of the podcast. Tonight, we will have James Jr. Roth. He was just recently on the Fox TV show Domino Masters. We're going to talk all about that exciting adventure that I'm sure he had. And he's a big part of the beard community. So, it all ties it together, and we're part of the beard community, and so is he. He didn't have a comp to talk about, but that's still pretty good. He was on Domino Masters, so
yeah, no, it's very exciting.
I mean, I wasn't on Domino Masters, so anyway, I'm Aaron D. Johnston, and I'm in the Honest Amish Studios, as you can see, with was it lovebirds? What the heck's on the wall? I forgot. Doves? I don't know. Pterodactyl birds. So what's going on, everybody? Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott Sikora. You can find myself or Aaron on all social medias. Just follow the little names that are right here, and it'll take you to where you need to go. But we want you to check us out over on talkingbeards.com. There you can find out more about the show. You can also watch the show live over there. But if you want to interact with us live in the chat room, you got to follow us and watch us over on either YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter tonight. You can find us at all those places and join in the chat room. As you can see, there's so much activity going on.
Oh my God. Like it's quite possibly the most activity we've ever had.
I know.
I wonder if we didn't go. No, we went out everywhere. It's just no one's paying attention tonight.
Yeah, no one wants, but I mean, I know how we can start probably getting some activity going.
How could we get some activity going, Scott Sikora?
Well, we're going to be giving away some really awesome stuff. There we go. Chris is here.
Chris Parent's here. Well, I appreciate it, Chris Parent.
We're going to be giving away some really awesome, cool stuff from Honest Amish. If you live while we were doing the show, hashtag Domino.
Hashtag Domino. That's pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's for our guests. So,
we were going to do hashtag Domino Masters, but we knew Chris Parent was going to be watching, and he's in West Virginia. So we didn't know if he could spell Domino Masters out. Wow. So we just said Domino. Right. That's what you said earlier. Was I not supposed to say that out loud?
No.
Oh, sorry, Chris. I didn't say that.
I said Roll Tide, and then you somehow construed it into that. So. Oh, see, he's in Pennsylvania. He's where you are. You guys are both in Pennsylvania.
We're twins. I'm Chris Parent. Well, Chris, I knew you were in Pennsylvania. I forgot. But hey, speaking of Chris Parent in West Virginia, look at that opening. We could just do this right now.
Yeah,
we don't usually do it, but look at this. Yeah, Chris Parent is involved in this bad boy coming up June 4th in Gent, West Virginia. Is it Gent? I don't know. It's coming up. So, if you like beard competition stuff and you're in the West Virginia, Pennsylvania area, and you like the Appalachian Mountains and beards and big helping out people, this is perfect for you. So, check it out. The Appalachian Beard Fest. There's a Facebook event page, and you can find it on the beard calendar as well. Sorry.
Yeah. So, no, that's really cool. Yeah. So just while you guys are watching the show live right now, make sure you use hashtag Domino and put that in the chat room. There's nothing. I'm thinking something's up with this.
That's what I'm thinking, because maybe my internet connection maybe didn't push everything out. I don't know, man. Everybody's watching. There's someone on every channel.
There's people.
This isn't a hot episode tonight. That's fine.
Wow. It's all right. But so if you're watching, hashtag Domino. But if not, and you want to check out some cool products from Honest Amish, you guys can go over to honestamish.com and use promo code Talking Beards, and you'll get 15% off your order. Also, free shipping on orders over $35. And as Aaron said, he's at the Honest Amish headquarters right now. They're doing some work. So we'll just start off. Why don't you tell us a little? Well, tell us if someone enters this contest tonight with hashtag Domino in the chat room, what they may win. And we can talk
start there.
And then we'll talk a little bit about like what you're up to at
so if you
HQ.
Yeah, if you get entered into hashtag Domino and we pick you out, you start out with this cool blue Honest Amish hat. We have the 4-ounce tin of beard balm. That's the big one.
You see that?
Domino. We have a bar of Honest Amish original soap. Everybody buy this soap. It's amazing. And we have the premium oil, because you're going to give some away. You might as well do premium, because this stuff's awesome. So
yes, that is good stuff.
And I will do my best to get this out tomorrow, and that'll be fantastic. I think I can do it. I got this.
I know you can. So tell us a little bit about what's going on at Honest Amish. Like, you haven't been up there in a while.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania had a super awesome winter, and every time I had a break in the action of traveling around the country, I'm like, all right, I can go up to Pennsylvania for a week. And I got a buddy up here, and I kind of hit him up like, how are the roads and stuff? And I'll look at the weather and stuff, and they're like, yeah, there's 14 inches of snow on the ground right now. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm not coming up there this week. And I think that happened twice. No. And I was like, all right, so here we go for sure. It's middle of May. We're good. So snow melted like last week, so we're fine now. But
the weather should be nice right now too, because I know it's been
freaking cold. I mean, it's not super cold, but when we got up here, it was like 80, and then a storm came through, and I think it was like 60 today.
From the X-Men? Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I was like, oh my gosh, the X-Men are here. And then it got cold. But yeah, Matt McClear's not too terribly far away, and it's 38 where he is. So I don't know. Everybody was mad at me at the kitchen today because they're like, you came from the South, you should have brought warm weather. And then they like threw stuff at me, and it was terrible. Anyway,
it's 91 here right now.
It's not 91 here. It's currently 57. So it'll be fine. It'll warm up, and we'll be good to go, and then we'll go home. But I came up here, I try to come up here as much as possible. Obviously there was quite a lull in my travels, but now it's warmer, and we've got some events up in this part of the country. We'll be up here more often. But I went over to the kitchen today. It's where they, cook the oil and balm and whatnot. If you follow me on Snapchat, I posted some pictures on there today of just some, stirring the pot of oil and whatnot. And, it was fun. I like going over there and doing the hands-on, seeing how everything's made, playing with new ingredients and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. Just learning new things. So, we had some personnel changes and stuff like that. And, some offices got moved around. And so just learning the new layout of everything. That's basically what I've been doing this week. And we definitely have some new fun things on the horizon. And I do have one breaking news thing. It's not enormous, but we will be having a Father's Day sale coming up on the website pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that, and I'm sure I'll post all about it. But yeah, I mean, Father's Day is coming up. Might as well buy your father some Honest Amish products.
Yeah, so. And if you're gonna and if they're gonna do it, Aaron, they got to use the promo code.
I mean, you can use promo code Talking Beards. That's fine. But if you're specifically looking for Father's Day, maybe hold off for a little bit. Maybe something better is coming your way. Maybe. Just saying. What's Father's Day, like the 17th of June, something like that? So maybe, a couple weeks before Father's Day, maybe there'll be a online sale. I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled.
Who knows?
Yeah. If that's a thing, I'll definitely post all about it and, check it out, because online saving money's fun. So I'll do my best to try to help you save money.
I mean, unless you just like paying full price for things.
If you want to pay full price, you definitely can. So I know that's what Matt McClear likes to do. He loves paying full price.
Why pay retail?
Why? He's like, I'm not even going to use a promo code. Pay full price for Honest Amish. It's worth it. It's what he always says in all of his TikToks.
Well, it is though. I mean, I'll pay. I gladly pay
right
full
here.
price. I'll go
There
up to. I mean, and that's the thing. The one nice thing about and I'm not trying to make this a big Honest Amish commercial right now, but
it can be.
It can be. But the one nice thing about Honest Amish is it's one of the number one, if not the number one, selling beard oil on. Was it Amazon?
It's
everywhere
on Amazon. But yeah, so going back to that, like our sale price or regular price is really, really good. It's amazing, really. If you look into all the other stuff, we were at Ulta yesterday and Natalie was getting some stuff. What's up? How's it going?
They don't want it. They don't like me. They like just you.
Just me.
Oh, well.
That's fine. But they had 1 ounce bottles of beard oil there and they were like $24. I mean, I'm not going to say what company it was, but it wasn't us.
I would not.
That's crazy. Ours are 2 ounces for under 20.
I love Ulta. Ulta is like one of my favorite stores. That looking at as we'll talk here in a minute about other things from Ulta, but I, honest to God, their offering of products that they have there for your beard are horrific. Like I wouldn't spend any money at that store buying any type of product that they sell you for your beard there, just because all you got to do is pick the box up and look at the ingredient list and see all the chemicals.
When it has ingredients that you can't pronounce, and when one of them is perfume, and then what's in perfume is usually alcohol, that's not really something you want to put in your beard, in my opinion.
No, but my whole point is the one nice thing about the Honest Amish product is, I'll order some stuff online or I'll get stuff from Aaron or I get it from a comp or something. But if I do run out and I need something, I can just quickly run up to my local Walmart and they have it there, and it's reasonably priced, and I can get it quick. I can get it fast, or I can just order it. Even if I order it directly from them, it comes in quick and fast. So I mean, alcohol's for your mouth, not your beard.
I mean, if you order on a Monday after work hours, Tuesday morning that thing's going out. So I mean, they don't really dilly dally around, as the kids say.
Whoa, why don't they dally dilly?
I know I've brought it up several times and they never do it.
Huh. You don't want them to start dally dillying.
No one likes a dally diller.
No.
Speaking of dally dilling, what did you do today, Scott Sikora?
What did I do today?
Oh. Well, the weekend, whatever. What have you been up to? That's what we're supposed to do.
Let's see. Well, this weekend I worked, but it was we worked at, no, I don't know if I can really say because I did sign some stuff.
You worked somewhere. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was big and in Austin.
Yeah.
And you were like, roll tide the whole time.
Roll tide. No, I went with one of my coworkers who is trying to break into the BMX world as a professional BMXer. And so him and I kind of cruised all around the Austin area, and I was taking some pictures for him and stuff. He's never really had anyone take some like promo shots for him and stuff like that. And like most of you know who pay attention to the show, that I've been into photography for a long time and just got a new camera not that long ago, and been trying to like get it back out there and take some shots and stuff like that. So I thought it would be fun to take some pictures. And so it was a cool way to explore Austin for sure. Just walking around while he's doing tricks on his bike and all that cool stuff. And the skate park is really cool. But yeah, no, that's what I pretty much did this weekend, and then kind of just dally-dillied on working on some photos on Sunday afternoon and stuff like that. Oh, look at that.
That's such a good picture.
Is that off of Instagrammas?
Facebook.
Oh,
it was super quick. I know there's probably a bunch more, but this is the first one I pulled up. But yeah, Scott took a bunch of super cool pictures like this. I was extremely impressed. I liked them a lot. But
yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Like I said, just getting back into the photography world and taking pictures and stuff like that. So it was nice. And then the past few days I've been working down at the University of Texas, their big football stadium. as they're getting ready for graduation this weekend, I believe. And so we're cleaning the windows there, but
you're graduating. Congratulations.
I'm graduating. Yes, I know. Finally, but they have a fox that is just roaming around inside of the stadium. It is ridiculous. It's so funny.
What did the fox say, Scott?
It just poops everywhere. There's we were like, why are these like random like piles of poop like all over the stadium? And
it wasn't even you this time.
It wasn't even me this time. But yeah, so I saw the corner of my eye something moving, and I turned and I'm like, there was a freaking fox. And I'm like trying to tell everyone, and no one believes me because they don't see it. And so finally it must have like been pooping somewhere, and I'm like, hey, look at the fox. So we're going to start making these commemorative stadium fox shirts, and it's going to have a picture of a little fox on it pooping.
I like it.
And it's going to have longhorns on it for the cows, the cattles.
The
it's going to say Roll Tide on it.
Yeah, everybody loves saying Roll Tide. I don't understand when they're like at the Texas football games, there's like Roll Tide. Like they're doing this like Roll Tide.
What's up, Murphy?
What's up, Sean? But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. So other than me and what I've been doing, it's probably time that we bring in our guest right now, don't you think?
Oh my goodness. It's that time. I think we are. So we talked about this a little bit. We're going to bring him on. So we will have James Jr. Roth on the show. He's been a barber for about 7 years up there in Kalamazoo, Michigan. He's an avid keyboard collector. He's a big part of the, oh my gosh, what's the name? The Kazoo Whisker Crew. Wow. Good job, Aaron. And he was recently on the Fox TV show Domino Masters as part of Team Bearded Buddies, our friend, James Roth. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys.
Hi. Greetings, salutations, and thank you for joining us on Talking Beards tonight.
Absolutely. It's good to see you guys.
It is great to see you too. So we got to spend a little bit of time chatting with you before the show, kind of getting the lay of the land and just catching up, and because it's been a while since we've seen each other, and then kind of hearing a little bit about the show and everything. Too long for sure. But kind of hearing a little bit about the show and stuff like that. But for people who don't know you, let's give a little bit of a historical backstory about you and who you are, and then we'll get into the whole journey of how you got into Domino Master. So big first question, which is, as Aaron said, boy, what a real hard one right off the bat. What got you into the whole beard scene? Like where did that all stem from, and how did you get involved in the competitive world and all that stuff?
Well, big loaded question there.
I know it's a tough one. Take your time.
It is. I've had a beard since I was 16 years old. Hated shaving. Everybody in my family was all clean shaven, except for one uncle, who has a beard almost as long as mine. And I think about 8 years ago, when I decided to become a barber, 7-8 years ago, I decided not to shave anymore, like not even to trim my beard down and just let it grow. And I kind of felt like in the beard community, in the barber community, there's not a lot of barbers that specialize in beards. So I put my heart and soul into becoming a barber and learning how to work with men's beards and men's grooming. Prior to that, I did 20 something years in credit union world, working with financial software and development and mortgage re-engineering process.
That sounds captivatingly fun.
So much fun. I can't believe you left that world.
I know, man, you're crazy.
Exactly. So, I decided that I didn't want to work in cubicles anymore, and I wanted to do something fun with my life, and barbering was kind of it. And it was, if I would have known what it was what barbering would have been if I was back in my 20s. I probably would have become a barber then, because it was been the best thing I've ever done in my life, hands down.
Back then he was trying to cut hair with an abacus, and it just doesn't work.
People can't even really see how long my beard is.
I mean, who would have ever thought that cutting hair was going to be more fun than being a financial advisor or whatever?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
But I mean, it's the one-on-one that you get with your client and stuff like that, and the friendships you build, and and of course it's they're coming to you because they trust you with what you're going to be doing to them, and obviously you have an extremely great personality. You're very bubbly, very friendly, so it makes it so much easier to be like, oh my God, this guy's great. I want to sit and talk with him for an hour.
Honestly, you guys have had quite a few barbers on, I'm pretty sure. I've seen a few people in the industry that you guys have interviewed before. Barbering to me is even much more than that. I think, especially the way I run my shop, it's always one-on-one. I don't have 12 people in a waiting room waiting to come in to see me. And the when you said, Scott, you talked about the relationships that you have with clients. It's unreal. I mean, I have laughed with guys. I have cried with guys. I have more personal stories that men have shared with me in the barber chair that really mean a lot to me, and the way that I can touch their lives by sharing myself with them in that time. And it's an amazing place to be. It's a very sacred room to be in, that barber chair with a client and building that trust and that relationship with them. I mean, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Well, and I believe traditionally back in the later years, like the barber shop was like the men's club. It was the place where the guy could go and feel free to talk. His barber was like almost his like shrink or whatever. Like you go talk to him, and he gives advice and stuff like that. So.
Right. I mean, it was all born. It was really born out of barbers were barber surgeons. So they were the doctor, the barber, the dentist. They were everything.
Because that's where the red on the barber pole comes from blood.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what Jacob Frost says. He says the barbershop is becoming a sacred place again, which is
it really is. I mean, I could tell you story after story of guys that have come in and they've come to me for 2 or 3 years and they're like family to me now. And for instance, I had a guy recently come in, he left. I got a phone call 5 minutes later. He's like, dude, my dog just got chewed up by a pit bull. Ooh. No offense to pit bulls out there, because I like pit bulls too.
Yeah.
But his dog got chewed up and he's like, dude, I don't have money to put my dog down. And I said, hang 5 minutes. I'm going to run up to the bank. I'm going to take care of this for you. And the guy, I didn't even ask him. He paid me back a week later. I knew he would. I didn't have to question it. But he's like family to me,
Yeah.
And I consider all of my guys that way. There's so much amazing things that happen there. I've seen fathers and sons that were kind of pushed apart come together, and I get a note 3 days later. It's like, dude, like I can't believe I just spent a whole weekend with my boy, and it was because you talked to them.
Barbershops bringing families together.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's and not just barbershops, but bearding. I mean, I think the beard community in as a whole brings a lot of people together. So
I can absolutely never speak more highly enough about what the bearding community has done for me in my personal life. So I mean, feel that.
For instance, even for me, being in the LGBTQ community, which people may or may not know, but being a part of that community and coming into the beard community even, and having that acceptance of this community of men that, and I know there's guys that push the boundaries, blah, blah, blah. But I'd say in general, I know that I can go to a beard comp, be who I am, be myself, I can bring my husband along with me, and nobody's going to bat an eye, and everybody's going to treat us with respect and kindness, just the way we would treat everybody else. I mean,
absolutely.
I
mean, it shouldn't be any different. It shouldn't even be a question. Who freaking cares? Like,
so I have to get. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that as a little segue into the Domino thing.
Okay.
Because the team Bearded Buddies, how we became a team. So Jared, the shortest one on our team, he's the 40-year-old. I'm the 50-year-old, and Paul was the 60-year-old.
Nice.
Jared called me up one day. All three of us used to camp together up in northern Pennsylvania at a little campground up there. And so I've known them for years. And Jared and I have talked about dominoes and stuff many times. Well, Jared had gotten a phone call from the producers of the show that said, hey, we saw your video that you posted that was showing on CNN. And
what was the picture?
It was actually a video he did for Christmas with a domino run that actually ran by Little Bells. Nice. They usually show it at Christmas time on CNN, but it plays like Carol of the Bells or something while this whole domino topple happens. And it says
that's cool.
Greetings. And so they asked Jared, hey, would you be interested in doing a competition show? So Jared called me, and we talked about it because I had experience in dominoes growing up and throughout my life. And I was like, that sounds like a cool opportunity. Let's audition for it and see what happens. And so Jared brought Paul in, and Paul does not have as many, okay, let me say this right. Paul didn't really have any domino experience.
Let's just put it out there. He was a domino rookie. It's fine.
He could play dominoes, but he didn't know the art of stacking dominoes.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting that. But he did a great job. So the three of us, it was literally about 9 or 10 months between the time we auditioned for the show, and then it was about 30, 40 days prior to the show. They called us up and said, hey, you guys are in, and pack your bags because you're going to LA. And,
how long were you in LA?
Wow, in Louisiana. That's a great place to do a domino show.
Yeah, wrong LA.
Oh, sorry.
No, we flew out. Because this was in the middle of COVID, and so they flew us out to LA. They picked us up at the airport, brought us to our hotel, pushed us into our room, and we were sequestered for 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Because
you could not even leave your room.
I assume they just brought you food and stuff like that.
No, Aaron, they made him starve.
Oh my gosh! Obviously, they didn't starve. Look at him; he's still alive.
Oh,
happy, fat and happy. No, they took really good care of us. I mean, it was a little trying. I don't know if you've ever been stuck in a hotel room for 5 days straight where you can't even go out the door. It was a little daunting. But we had some dominoes in there. We were able to kind of do some creative play, so to speak. Zoom meetings between rooms was quite a common thing. We formed our team, and one of the things we all had was beards. So when they asked us what we wanted to call ourselves, we were online with one of the producer people, and they're like, well, you guys are all buddies. You're all bearded, so why not the Bearded Buddies? And
that sounds like a perfect name.
Perfect name. All right. Now, just to kind of step back another step here, but so for anyone who might be watching or whatever, who hasn't seen the show, does not know anything about the show, tell us a little bit about the premise of what the show is, so everyone kind of has an idea of what your involvement was.
You said urine. That was weird, Scott. Why
Shut
would
up.
you say that?
Okay, so I'm going to blank here. Ask your question.
For those of the people who haven't seen the show or know anything about it, what's the premise of the show? Kind of explain a little bit.
The premise of the show was basically done as an arena style event. So, they call it an unscripted reality show. And what it is a challenge. So you have 4 teams on 26 by 26 foot platforms. And they give you unlimited amount of dominoes and Rube Goldberg, I want to say, items that you could build with. So we had a whole workroom, whole building, supply, drill presses, saws, you name it. And so basically the premise is you have a set number of hours. You come on stage and you start your build. You get 15 hours. I can't remember if it's 15 or 16 now. But you get the set amount of hours and you build. And, the build, everybody always asks me if the build took place in one chunk of time.
That was my biggest question. So
we were not going to ask you that question.
It's on my list of questions.
It was not over one 15-hour block. It was actually done over multiple days.
1 hour for 15 days, my Lord.
But you have it's very timed. I mean, the timing of it was very, very precise. And it was kind of fun. You're just in this big giant arena that was made inside of a airplane hangar. And you go in, it's kind of exciting. We were literally the first group of teams to compete. Now we were in episode 3, but during filming, we were actually the first group of people to actually see the arena, see the domino rooms, see the whole thing. So we were kind of the guinea pigs of the show.
Well, that was nice of them.
And
the bearded buddies in, they'll do it.
It was actually really cool, to be able to walk in there, the first team to ever really see, what was going on, and all the behind the scenes stuff. And it's astronomical, the amount of equipment that they put into, one show.
Oh yeah.
And so we you get the 15 hours, they break your time up, they give you, breaks and stuff like that. But they have a person standing there with a, stopwatch. And, after a while, like 2 or 3 hours in, you're in this room and you've got 4 teams on these these platforms are massive and they're about 4.5 feet off the ground. And super solid. You can jump on them. Dominoes aren't going to fall over.
Oh, wow.
So apparently they were like really thick steel plating. And so you're in there and you're building, and then all of a sudden it just gets really quiet. It's almost eerily quiet. You don't see cameras running around. You don't see all this stuff happening. It's just quiet and you're just working, but you don't realize that there's like hundreds and hundreds of cameras all over the building. Up above, down below, just everywhere, and they're always on.
Wow.
So the minute you get on set, you get a mic, and that's the last thing that comes off before you leave. So
it's just constant filming this whole entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. If you have to, run out to the restroom, you have to stop, talk to, to the producer. Hey, I gotta, and
do they unmic you before you go to the bathroom?
Oh, Aaron would have fun with that.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
Nope. As a matter of fact, like you literally, I mean, you almost have to really watch. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes like your brain says something and it comes out your mouth.
Yep.
You kind of have to stop that.
Oh yeah. Aaron's like that all the time. He's always dumb stuff's coming out of his mouth all the time.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much.
It's Aaron.
Yeah.
So you do get into this other mode of you feel like you're in a TV show, but at the same time you don't, because you're just there with them. It's quiet. There's no spinning lights and music going on. And all that kind of stuff is it's almost surreal. You're literally there doing what you do and building your build. And occasionally you'll talk to somebody from another team. You'll have some little banter going back and forth. All of that's real. I mean, every bit of the build process is 100% like what you saw. It's pretty amazing.
Did they encourage y'all to like talk trash to the other team or anything like that, or did they just kind of just let it play out what was going to happen?
Good question. I think because it is what they call an unscripted reality show.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't any type of we want you to do this or we want you to do that. It's really what you do, and I'd say there were things that would get you talking, or people would come by and say, hey, what do you think about so-and-so over there? And you would, give your 2 cents,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think sometimes I don't think that they like told you, hey, we want you to talk to these teams.
Right.
It was more like just ask questions, guide them.
To get the ball rolling, and maybe something might happen out of this. We'll grab this sound bite. Yeah.
Right. I think the biggest, and Aaron, I should have told you about this, and I don't know if you can look it up. You might be able to. If you're able to look up or show videos, there's a video on what is it? It's if you look up, do a search on your search engine for Bearded Buddies Domino
Mm-hmm.
topple.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video of what happens to my build. I don't know if you're able to pull it up or not, but while you're looking for that, one of the craziest moments of when you're in this build process and everybody's concentrating and everybody's being really quiet and thinking about what they're doing and running back and forth between the workroom and that, all of a sudden you just hear it. You hear something go down, and it's the whole room just stops.
Yeah.
It's like everybody on all 4 platforms just stops what they're doing. Everybody looks around. And one of the things you said, Aaron, is like, do you guys end up talking trash to one another? It's a weird thing in the Domino community, because this is like the first time that people have competed in this.
Okay.
So like there was a cash prize, right? So you're kind of in it to win it, sort of thing. But the Domino community, a lot of these people, like even Jared knows other Domino artists. I know other Domino artists. And, there's never been a competition. So when something goes down from another team, it's not like, yay.
They're disappointed because they wanted to see everybody succeed, kind of deal.
Right. And you
awesome.
want them to excel. You want their build to work. And so it's more of like a very cheerful, cheering each other on sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to talk trash, and I think it happened a few times in the show, I think it was more in a very fun,
Mm-hmm.
manner.
Playful banter.
Right. I didn't see, there was a couple teams had some moments, like I know Domino, one of the teams that I think he was in episode 2. He lives up in New York City. Domino got a little sassy with one of the other people on his team,
Mm-hmm.
Because, you do have to work together. You do have to, like, one person has to do this, one person has to do that. And you have to divvy up these kind of jobs to get the build complete. And I think, like, he got mad at one of his, other people, and he just basically told him off in front of everybody.
Well, I mean, you got to think, like, they're all there trying to compete and win money. And when someone else on your team ruins your chances of winning money, you're probably going to be pretty ticked off. Even if, like, later on you're like, dang, I shouldn't have snapped at Scott.
Right.
But, at the time when Scott knocked over all the dominoes, I was pretty pissed off.
It was an accident,
Right.
Aaron. I didn't mean to do it.
You just cost us a bunch of money, Scott. This is
Right,
ridiculous.
There goes that 100,000 right there, man.
I
Good job,
ruined
Scott.
it.
But I mean, so even with my team, we had some moments where Jared, Paul, and I were building, and so like I said, Paul kind of had a less amount of build experience.
Let's give him the easy things.
So exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you saw the topple, but in our topple, the whole build from start through the 1970s field, the big giant field where they fall through one another.
Yeah.
Through that, all of that was my build. All the connecting lines for all of the different what do you call them? The big seams
Right.
in the build. All of the connections were mine. And then my biggest build, which was the big giant treble clef, that was 25 dominoes high.
Ooh.
So it was a huge build. I worked on it for 6.5 hours.
What happened to that big giant treble clef?
So I was building a speed wall, which is a type of domino build that basically walls can fall through another wall and the wall stays standing. And, I got pretty much almost completed with it. And sometimes dominoes have a little burr on the edge of them because they're all really square and flat. And, there's special dominoes for this type of building. And put one up. And as soon as I set it up there, I knew it was wobbly. I didn't have time to grab it. And it went.
That was it.
Well, we have a question here, and this relates to what you're talking about here from Jacob Trost. He asks, did they ever put in something like a stopper or a brake system in place while building so it doesn't cause or go catastrophic before the build is done? And then,
absolutely great question. So during the build process, when you're building a build this big, we do this in normal building, is you have gaps that you place through. And I don't know if you guys saw it on any of the builds, there were plexiglass walls.
Okay.
See some of those. So plexiglass walls are used in case if you've got like a field or like you saw a fall wall where they were stacked up a wall.
Yeah.
They'd all fall down. You would place plexiglass stoppers along those areas so that dominoes didn't shoot out and start another train prematurely.
All right.
So
That's what you're saying.
Throughout the build, so during our 15 hours, you get 15 hours to do your build, and then they give you like 5 or 10 minutes to go in and place all your gaps. So you actually go up and, you talk about, that's like the most nerve-wracking moment because it's like, it's like setting the mousetrap, right? That it could go off any second, right? And so people are just like, shaking, trying to put put their little domino down, and they're shaking. And it was just, luckily, nobody had any topples during that moment.
That's good.
But we place a lot of stop gaps in the build. So even in our build, like when I lost the treble clef, when I lost that, it didn't affect any other build. Now, One Love that Jared built, the ambergram in the middle of our build, the whole middle, if you remember in the show, one side was white and one side was red. And that was because the whole thing was done and then the inside got toppled.
But they didn't show that.
No, they don't. It's really weird. I forget. I think it was Paul that knocked that part over.
Freaking Paul.
Gosh, Paul.
We love Paul.
We love him.
He's Paul. He's running around in his little place in Texas now. So, yeah, he's down by you, Scott.
Oh, hey, Paul. I'm waving to him. He lives down the street.
But when that sort of stuff happens, you have a choice. You can either rebuild or you move on.
So when your treble clef fell, was that really that close to the end of y'all's build, or was that an editing thing?
It was really that close.
Dang.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Danica had come out. So we were talking about this earlier. When that happened, were you able to find that video?
Yeah, but I couldn't get it. I was trying to get it to play, but
dang!
I'll see what I can do again.
Because it shows the fall.
The fall. Yeah, so you want to take us through your topple a little bit? So if anybody watched the show, they know that.
And that's what this video has the topple on it. So, but at that moment when I lost the treble clef, I think we had like about 5 hours, I think, till the end, and we still had to do a lot of connecting lines. We had to do triggers and all that kind of stuff. And I just looked at Jared and I was like, I could rebuild it. Danica, like I was going to say, Danica came out when it fell. She actually came out, and it doesn't show like this in the show, but Danica comes out and she goes, everybody clear away. Like she pulled me away to the side and she just looked at me and she goes, I literally just cried.
Dude, my heart was
you
broken.
Are halfway through your build.
Okay, here it is.
You now have 8 hours left until it's time to topple those dominoes.
Let's get
That's
busy.
you guys, bearded buddies.
Part of my section of the build is creating a treble clef speed wall. It's
and
really
by the way,
quite a big piece.
that's all done
I
at the
love
very
to
end of the
write and
show.
compose music.
hate
So
the way
having
it
this
sounded.
element in our build is a
They
really
want you
big
to
thing
go.
for me. Making good progress, Jared.
Awesome.
There you go.
Oh,
We just had a topple. The bearded buddies just lost their music note.
I was so super proud of that. A solid surface. I thought it was just going to stick, and the whole musical note toppled. It's gone. Literally on the verge of like a meltdown.
We don't have time to rebuild it.
I'm just devastated right now.
Well, there
That
you
was-
go.
That was awful. I was so
So-
freaking heartbroken when that happened.
So I gotta say, it like I was telling you earlier, it was a surreal moment because again, so you know how they just showed like them all standing on stage?
Mm-hmm. That's not real, huh?
Well, they're there. They just weren't there at that particular moment. Okay. So like Danica comes out and she's like, dude, I am literally like, I'm crying right now. And she literally had tears in her eyes and she gave me a big hug and she goes, I don't know if you can rebuild this. I was like, I don't think I can, not in this amount of time. But she was super, super nice. Vern Davis was super, super cool. Steve Price was like, well, maybe if you tried to build it, this way, maybe you could get it done and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it won't be a speed wall, so it won't really topple the way I want it to. And, but that moment when I drop and fall back on my back, I closed my eyes and I literally I was like, okay, I'm going to open my eyes and there's going to be like 30 people standing around me. Sure enough, I open my eyes and there's just 10 cameras. People are running through the arena. Everybody's still just standing there like the whole world just fell, right? And I got somebody coming up to me, goes, tell me how you feel right now.
I feel bad.
I look at this dude going,
I'm going
I
to
don't
Disney
wanna
World.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wanna
pumped.
talk, And so I didn't know what to say. I was like, there's all these people around me. There's cameras on me. I don't know what to say, And it was just, I think because you're in a TV show and yet you're also doing something that's real.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that one moment, you're completely annihilated inside. You've lost your run. You've lost time. You've let your other two teammates down. And how do you save face over that? Well, I didn't feel completely bad because I didn't think I was the one that lost our run, because we had other topples that happened that weren't just my fault. So, Paul,
they just showed yours.
Jared had a topple, they just showed mine.
Yeah.
Drama makes good TV.
Yeah, so it's the way they edit it to make you look like you were the one that caused it all.
Right. And it is kind of funny because I've gotten a lot of messages from people on different boards like, I felt so bad for you because you lost the whole run for your team. And I'm like, no, I mean, I don't feel like it was just my topple that ended our run. I felt like it was a whole bunch of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And, like the Dominerds team, those guys, they had a really major fall in one of their walls. I think you probably remember that, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And if you recall, he built it back up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he built it back super fast.
Okay, so he first had a wall that was 4 dominoes wide, okay, and what we call a 3D wall. So it's more than one domino wide. He rebuilt that as a single domino wall, and it was just a regular standard wall, easy to build. I could have built that wall in probably 10 minutes. And so these guys, they build daily. They don't build like once every couple months, break out the dominoes and build something. Right. They build every day. Him rebuilding that wall was like, he just went, oh, well, I'll just rebuild it like this and be done.
I'll just build a simpler wall.
Right.
But for someone who doesn't, play with dominoes stuff, they're like, wow, it's crazy. He built it all back, but it wasn't as complex of a wall, but it's still a wall.
Right. And like even Jared on our team, when he built the peace wall, that was a 1 domino wall. Probably could have built it a lot faster, in my opinion. But he did a great job on it. But it was one of those things that he was being so careful.
Too careful, and we ended up losing more time on build. So it was interesting. It was fun. One thing that I wanted to know, and we're running short on time, but
sure.
Like how much preparation time did you get for your build? Because obviously, if anyone watched the show, I mean, there's all these crazy contraptions and disco balls and all this stuff. I'm like, how would you all in like a short amount of time be able to construct all this? Surely you had more than just like a day to come.
Oh yeah, I mean, you pre-plan your build. So,
okay.
You have about a week and a half or so to start planning your build. And, it would be damn near impossible to have somebody stand there and just go, hey, we want you to do this. And you just, pull it out of your, Goopa. Yeah. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. But the one thing you never get to do is actually do the build.
Right. You get to talk about the build and draw the build and play with your, handful of dominoes you have in your hotel room.
Which is just about what we had was a handful.
Yeah. Until it's game time, you don't actually get to do it. But I mean, that at least makes more sense that you had a week and a half or whatever to you tell the crew to go buy 14 disco balls or whatever, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Or pull it out of some warehouse somewhere, product factory. And, so that, I think that was really kind of a nice thing that we had, that we could actually kind of plan out what we were going to do. And then to know that you had everything available to you for your particular build. And I think that the company did an amazing job at doing that for us. But it was certainly exhausting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I imagine. Like mentally draining just doing that, and just like you have to be so focused for so long because if you're not super focused, you might knock over a treble clef or something.
Well, and not only that, when you see these big fields of dominoes where they the field topples over and it creates a picture or something like that. So just building a field like that where you've got 8,000 or 9,000 dominoes in a field, or 3,000 dominoes or whatever the case may be, you're using a template. So you can put in, I think it's 15 dominoes.
Okay.
You put it into a template and slide it into place and pull the template out. So you can do that, but it's still nerve-wracking because you one domino goes over and you lose hours of work. And that happened quite frequently, not with just with us, but with all the teams.
And they just didn't highlight it as much on the show.
Right. They're only going to highlight the, the big topples.
Mm-hmm.
I think the girls, the Charlie's Angles, they lost their river, I think, before they actually went on to the show, when they shot it. And filming these things is really a spectacular event.
You said there was hundreds of cameras.
You only have one go, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way that a camera can zoom across, this platform, because one of the rules, nobody is allowed on that platform but the 3 people building.
That makes sense. No
production staff, no production crew, no producers, no anybody. Nobody could go and like it was so bad that like somebody came up one day and kind of sat on the edge of somebody's thing and everybody went nuts, and they weren't even close to anything. It was just, you can't be on.
The rule was don't touch it. So
right. And so before they would film the topple, you would go down with this crew of cameras and you would use a laser pointer and you would take them through the entire thing, right? And while they're doing that, they're like, stop. And we need a camera change here. We need a camera over here. We need a camera over here. Okay, go. And you're taking them through this thing with a laser pointer. And then they rehearse that move. So set, everybody goes where they go, and they go, change. And you see all these things going around, and you're just standing there for like, each topple was like about a 3.5 hour process.
Wow.
And you're just standing there and you're like, you're talking with everybody else, but there's just like this massive thing because they only have one shot. If something happens, they miss it. That's it. So it was really kind of a cool experience to watch that, and I think they did a really good job with it.
I thought it was a really good job. I thought the whole concept of the show was really cool. I definitely mainly watched it because you were on it, but the rest of the thing was still cool to watch and watch it all.
It was
obviously never watched a TV show about dominoes before, and I probably never will again, but it was, it was cool and you were on it. So it was definitely worth a watch.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's good to be on here, to be quite honest. And
yeah, dude. We were happy to have you, and I reached out to you as soon as you said anything about being on the show. I was like, "Holy crap, we're be on Talking Beards and talk about Domino Masters in here."
I know. We'd been discussing it for quite a while once we found out about it. And we're like, "Oh, we got to get him on. We got to get him on." And it's just when was the right time?
I think it would have been really cool if you guys would have built a domino topple.
I'd have been. Let's do it.
I think you guys need to build one that goes through from one screen over to the other.
Oh my gosh.
We can do this.
Like Rube Goldberg,
Oh, we got a pin? Yeah, watch this.
Oh, here we go.
Ready?
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Here we go. There. Oh, look at that. And
we love that trick.
Magic.
Pretty good. That's all we got. All right, James. Thank you for stopping by.
To poke both of you,
Woo.
Great, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you allowing me to share a little bit of my experiences with everybody, and hope you guys have a great evening.
Yeah, we hope you have a great evening too. And
hey, hopefully we'll see you at a beard comp soon.
Any plans on going to any?
I wanted to go to the beard prom thing that they're doing in Ohio, I think.
It's in Pittsburgh, and it's this weekend.
Yeah, and I'm in a show this weekend, so I'm playing keyboards for Xanadu.
Sorry, there it is.
Yep, Xanadu the musical. But I really wanted to go. I'm missing the beard community. It's been way too long, and I'm definitely ready to get back to it. So plus, I've got this awesome beard growing now.
It's growing good, man. I can't wait to see you at an event somewhere.
22 inches. So,
See, you got me by 6. So, but
all I need to do now is just shave this off, right?
that's right, and you'll have the best beard style ever.
Most
I
prestigious.
could go
makeover
Scott
style.
Sakura.
Oh, look at me! I'm Scott Sakura.
Look at me! I'm Scott Sakura. Look at me!
This is a great way to end this interview.
All right, James. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll have you on again.
Man. Absolutely, be good.
All right,
buddy,
we
have a good
appreciate
night.
you. Thanks, man.
Dude, that was awesome, man.
That
We could
was.
just kept going. I was
I know.
not at all we didn't even scratch the surface of that thing.
Well, I know, and that was as we had talked to him before, and we had discussed. I mean, he's extremely prolific in music and writing, and that in itself we should just have him on at a later date and talk all about music and stuff too.
We could probably have that arranged. That's probably doable. So, all right. Well, we're out of time. So let's get into this thing real quick. This is your last chance. Oh, I should probably put it on the screen. Huh? That would probably make this easier. Oh my gosh. Where'd it go? There we go. All right. So #Domino. Oh.
This is what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was going to do this real quick. We're going to do this giveaway. So this is your last chance. You got, a few seconds here. Put in #Dominoes or just Domino in the chat, and you could potentially win some Honest Amish prize pack tonight.
My gosh, what is it? Is Andrew sick tonight?
So Andrew is working. Isn't that weird. Night shift is the right shift. That's what everybody says. So premium oil. Original soap.
James, you can do this too. Enter it in there.
Yeah,
in the
put
chat
it in,
room.
James.
Enter it in there.
A regular beard balm in the 4-ounce tin. And tonight we have a blue Honest Amish hat. We have 7 entries. Let's see how it goes. You ready? Draw. Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Who's it going to be?
It's going to be Matt.
Oh, it was Jacob. That's
wow.
Awesome. Well, he had probably the best question of the night, and he wins the prize pack. So
and
Jacob,
do you also notice that he literally just put it in right before you drew?
Did he? I was off the comments. Well, that worked out. Well, congratulations, Jacob. Send me a message with your address, and I'll get that out to you in the morning. So, we had a bunch of other stuff that we were going to cover tonight, but we're completely out of time. So, visit a beer competition near you, thebeercalendar.com. It's super easy to use. So I'm Aaron D. Johnston. I'm here. Thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you, James. That was super cool. And go check out some reruns of Domino Masters. I'm sure it's on Netflix or something. I'm sure you can find it.
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. That's right. So there you go. I also have some breaking news about Hulu later on too. So that's it. Thank you for everybody watching. Go ahead, Scott.
And I'm Scott Sakura. We want you to go over and check out talkingbeards.com for all of your Talking Beards needs. Subscribe to the podcast. It comes out. We'll be releasing the interview video via YouTube. So if you want just the interview section, the whole episode was pretty much the interview. So
it was good.
But yeah, so just go over to YouTube and follow us over there. But other than that, thanks, James, for joining us. And that was a great story, great interview. And so, I guess we'll see everyone next week. Like I said, check us out, talkingbeards.com.
That's it. Everybody have a great night.
Thanks for tuning in to Talking Beards. Make sure you go over to honestamish.com and use promo code TalkingBeards to get 15% off your order. Don't forget to tune in live next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern at talkingbeards.com.